and visit the family. Words are made of letter people, A, B, C, D, follow me.
The letter people. Today, WH and SH.
It's magic, I know.
Oh, boy. If there's one thing you can count on here in Letter People Land, it's weirdos. Hello there, Mr. W. What are you up to?
Ooh, magic. Ooh, wonderful magic. Want to see some tricks?
No, I don't care to see any tricks. Sorry, Mr. W. Besides, I'm on my way to the catching game, and I don't want to be late.
Ooh, see this?
Uh-huh, the giant tiddlywink.
No, look again. It's a...
Coconut pizza?
Oh, you're close.
Okay, it's a white wheel. So what?
Ooh, watch.
Uh-huh, I'm watching.
Just a few magic words. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wumpa, wham, walla, walla.
Walla, walla.
Presto.
Hubba, hubba. Look, Mr. W. You changed that white wheel into a...
White wheel.
Hubba, hubba. How did you do it?
Oh, magic. Isn't it wonderful?
Oh, come on, W. I won't tell anybody.
Oh, I can't tell that it wouldn't be magic.
Quiet! I'm trying to get my superhero sleep.
Sorry, old buddy. We'll try to hold it down.
Darn my socks.
Wonderful magic. Want to see another trick?
Yeah, show me another trick, W. I'll catch on this time, you'll see.
Oh, don't be too sure. Want to bet?
Uh-huh. What did you have in mind?
Well, if I fool you with another magic trick, will you make a special sound with me?
Since there's no chance of that, sure, W.
Now I'm going to blow your whistle while keeping both of my hands on the table. An amazing trick, and you'll notice my hands never leave my arms.
You're gonna blow my whistle without using your hands? This I gotta see.
Wiggle, waggle, whoa, whoa, dink. Let the whistle come to me. Wonderful wink.
No, he did it. Egad.
Quiet!
That was astounding, Mr. W. How did you...
I can't tell. Now let's decide what sound we'll make together.
Anything but a squish.
I know. Mr. C told me all about you in squish boxes.
Hey! How about the sound that starts whistle?
That's a wonderful sound.
Whistle. The sound that starts whistle is not a squish, so we can get into a regular clue box.
Ooh, and I can use it in my magic act. The sound that starts whistle is the same sound that starts wheel.
Yeah! Whistle, wheel, I hear it. Hubba, hubba!
Oh, the sound that starts whistle is the same sound that starts whale. Oh, hold your hand in front of your face and you can even feel the sound that starts whistle.
Whistle. Hubba, hubba, this is terrific. What a great sound.
Speaking of sounds, how about a nice quiet one? I'm trying to get my beauty rest.
Shh. Oh, it's sorry. Yes. We got pretty excited there for a minute.
We're gonna make a new sound. The sound that starts whistle.
Good for you, but that whistle is noisy.
Sorry, Mr. S. How can we make it up to you?
How about making a new sound with me, Mr. H? A new, quiet sound.
Well, as long as it's not a squish. So, huh? Shh. What? I wasn't talking loud. Shh. Oh, I see. We'll make the shh sound together.
A nice, quiet sound.
The same sound that starts shark. Shh, shark, shh, shark. I hear it. What a nice, quiet sound.
And sheep. Shh, shh, sheep. Sheep starts with shh. A super sound. Wonderful. Now I think I can get back to my nap.
Ooh, but aren't you on the catching game show today, Mr. S?
Oh, darn my socks. I'm late.
So am I. We better disappear.
Which brings me to my next trick. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Send these two letter folks to the catching game show.
Whinny is a whooping crane, and wow, is Whinny sad. All he can say is, whoop, whoop, whoop. It makes him feel real bad. He's tried a whee, and whim, and wham, a whiz-bang, and a whoa, but whoop, whoop, comes out instead. Why that is, I don't know. Whoop isn't such a bad sound if you add a little E. Instead of whoop, 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 you get whoopee, whoopee, whoopee.
Girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads, it's time to play the game everybody loves, the catching game. And now here's the star of the catching game, Monty Swell.
Thank you, audience, and thank you, Tom Fago. Now let's play the catching game. Let's meet our contestant. Here he is, all the way from the Zigzag Forest, a daring Zeppelin daredevil, Captain Zemo. Who let him in here? Captain Zemo? Captain?
What?
Listen, wake up and tell the audience something about yourself.
Oh, I'm very glad to.
Well, a little excitement never hurts this show, does it? Captain Zero. Zero.
That's Zemo, Swill.
Oh, that's swell.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Right. Now, I'm going to show you a picture, and you must tell me what you see in the picture, already? Picture's on our magic board.
It's,
Time's up.
a shed.
A shed? Well, that's very good, Zemo. I don't know how you stayed awake long enough to,
Can we get on to the starting clue box? I'm rather tired.
Of course you are. and now, whom are we going to call to get into the starting clue box? Shh. Don't shush me. We're on a TV show. In fact, it's my TV show.
Shh. The sound I hear is the quiet sound that Mr. S and Mr. H make together. Shh. I want to call Mr. S and Mr. H to get into a regular starting clue box.
Zemo. Well, he's right, you know. Don't know how, but he's right. Mr. S and Mr. H, come on out here and get to the starting clue box. Nice to see you both. Now, Zemo, stay on your toes.
What?
Unless your toes have fallen asleep, too. In that case, step on it. Tell me, who should we call to get into the catching clue box?
Shed.
Uh-huh.
Shed.
Uh-huh.
I do believe Ms. E should fill the catching clue box. I hear her short sound.
Right you are again, Zemo. Now, lastly, who should we call to get into the ending clue box?
Shed.
Uh-huh.
Shed?
Uh-huh.
I hear the same sound that starts delicious donut at the end of shed. Mr. D, if you would be so kind.
Right again, Captain. Mr. D, come on out and get to the ending clue box. Now, hold up a badge of cooperation, and we're in business.
No, it's past my nap time. Do you think we could have the letter people make their sounds catch now and get on with it?
Certainly, Zemo. How inconsiderate of me. It's only my show. Guy's trying to take over. Now, letter people, make your sounds catch.
Shed.
Shed. That's right. Mr. S and Mr. H are using their new sound at the start of shed. One of the best sounds in the whole world. World?
World.
Hi-yo, Silver!
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. No one's ever run away from one of my shows before. Well, we better snap things up a bit. Tom Fargo, tell Zemo what he's won.
Okay, Monty. Captain Zemo, you are the lucky winner of a shed! That's right, and you'll shed a tear of glee, too, because you'll be able to put your shovel, your shrimp, and your shirt in your shed! Whoa! And stay away, Captain, because you've also won a shaggy sheepdog! His name is Sherman the Shaggy Sheepdog. He'll shine your shoes, shave your shark, wash your trash, and shampoo the sheriff! And hold on, Zemo, because in the summer, Sherman will shimmy and shake, and then he'll shed all over the place. Aha! Enjoy your sheepdog and your shed, Captain, and thanks for playing the catching game, Monty.
Thank you, Tom Fargo. That was sensational. Little joke there, huh? Well, thank you, Letter People, and Captain Zemo.
What?
Zemo.
What? Am I on?
Now here's something that we don't do every day. You know, Miss E has written another song, and it's dedicated to Mr. H, since he's been such a good sport in helping us with these new sounds. And since I'm the star of this show, I'll sing it.
A song for me?
Uh-huh.
How touching.
Mr. H, Mr. H, you with that fabulous hair, you've helped us find two new sounds, our thanks beyond compare. By teaming up with Mr. S, you make a handsome pair. You've made the sound of shiny shoes like these fancy jobs I wear. Well, what do you think of them? Aren't they terrific? Spit shine. Mr. H, Mr. H, oh, you came back again. You found winking Mr. W, teamed up like two old friends. You produced the sound of whistling whistles, one that we all know. You found a sound we can carry around. Just put your lips together and blow. Mr. H, Mr. H, you discovered a couple of greats. Now we have shiny shoes and shocking shampoos, whimsical whales and whispering wheat, shrinking shadows and shivering sheep, and short, shimmying sharks, and white, whizzing wheels, and shiny brass shields. Mr. H, Mr. H, you with that fabulous hair, you've helped us find two new sounds, our thanks beyond compare. Mr. H, Mr. H, you've discovered a couple of greats. And my congratulations.
Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me. Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.
The Letter People. Today, the Hall of Fame. A review.
another detective here, super sleuth, seeker of truth, and part-time night watchman here at the Letter People Hall of Fame. Yes, the Letter People Hall of Fame. A place dedicated to the memory of great and sometimes silly events that have taken place right here in Letter People land. At first I took this job because I work alone. That gives me the chance to practice wearing all the clever disguises I need for my detective work. But I soon found out that the Letter People Hall of Fame is chock full of great stories. Looks like something is wrong over there. I'd better check. Oh no, it's Mr. X's display. I remember when he first arrived here in Letter People land. It was one of my strangest cases.
Boy, oh boy, boy, oh boy, boy, oh.
Things were going all wrong. Mr. B's voice changed for no reason.
My voice.
Mr. H, what?
Then Mr. H turned up with a very weird hairdo.
Pretty good idea, kid.
And Ms. U's goat started to make strange noises. The only clue in the case was that when something went wrong, there was always an X attached to it.
Sid, can you help Nardo?
What's wrong with this nutty goat? Is it mad?
Well, I'm not too happy about it.
You got a lot of explaining to do.
I finally caught up with Mr. X in the forest. To my surprise, he turned out to be a good fellow. His only problem was that he had no sound. In Letter People land, that means you're out of work.
Even though we share our sounds with you, you have the honor of standing in the ending clue box.
Oh, God.
Luckily, Mr. K and Mr. S agreed to give Mr. X the squish sound they would make at the end of a word.
Cooperation, so everyone will know that Miss O will make her short sound. And now, Letter People, make your sounds catch.
Fox.
Mr. X was so happy to be included that he offered his letter as a warning sign for dangerous places, like railroad crossings. And talk about not having a sound. No one could get a word out of Mr. Q. At least not until Ms. U agreed to always stand next to Mr. Q, so that together they would make the same sound that starts quiet. Sure is quiet in here. I like quiet sometimes. In fact, it's one of the best things in the whole world.
World?
World.
Hi-yo, Silver!
A runaway word. There's nothing like a runaway word for getting rid of quiet. I remember the time Ms. O visited Professor Foghorn and his word machine. Ms. O found out that some words don't follow the rules. The letters in those words don't sound off as they should. Well, that's why the word machine wouldn't let them pass through. The word machine likes to play by the rules.
Ticklish.
Zemo.
Two.
Not again. Those letters didn't sound off right. Oh.
Two.
Hi-yo, Silver!
But the words wanted to be words anyway. So they ran away. I guess people have to learn those words one at a time. And there sure are a lot of them. But they really are good runners. The runaway football team is undefeated. Look, someone left their lunch. No, it's a display. A pile of chewy cherries put here in the Hall of Fame to commemorate the new special sound that Mr. C and Mr. H make in words. C and H made the deal on the way to catch a very weird choo-choo train. Mr. H wouldn't squash, but he did agree to make a new kind of sound. A sound that was not a squish. Cuts are a no-no for Mr. H, and he didn't want to get cut on the jagged edges of the squish box.
Tired? You were saying?
Well, why don't we team up to make the same sound that starts Chewy Cherry?
Chewy Cherry. Chewy Cherry. That is a new sound, Mr. C. I'll do it. If we get into a regular clue box. No squish boxes for me. Deal?
Deal. Chewy Cherry. Chewy Cherry. Chewy Cherry.
Oh, boy.
Chewy Cherry.
Why don't you go back to chomping, see? Now you sound like an old choo-choo train.
What time is it?
The train leaves in 5 minutes.
Oh, no, we must be at least a mile away from the station.
We can make it if we run. How about we better hustle?
Mr. C and Mr. H missed a train all right, but so did the engineer, Charlie McChew. At least C and H got a chance to practice their new sound while trying to catch up with the train.
What is it, Charlie?
Chocolate. Yeah, the Chewy Cherry Choo-Choo must have passed this very spot not long ago.
Chocolate starts with our new sound, Mr. H. Chocolate, Chewy Cherry.
Mr. C and Mr. H could have used some chocolate for energy. They were pretty tuckered out when they finally caught up with the train, but Charlie cheered them up with a song about their new sound once the Chewy Cherry Choo-Choo got underway.
If you put the handcar on me, we'll be ready to go, Charlie.
Okay, Choo-Choo. All aboard!
Let's not tell anybody about this. They'll think we're crackers.
Brought you some chewy cherries and some chocolate cheese, Choo-Choo. My name is Charlie McChew. I've got chalk on my hands. I drive the Chewy Cherry Choo-Choo through a lot of people land. But when I'm passing through, I just yell choo-choo-choo, and all the people in the land, well, they give me a hand.
The deal Mr. H made with Mr. C led to some more deals that would put Mr. H in a regular clue box with another consonant. There's the thing. Mr. T and Mr. H can team up to make two different sounds. The sound that starts the and the sound that starts thing. The sound that starts the rumbles through your teeth. And the sound that starts thing is like a light breath of air. Mr. T and Ms. U found the Things Theater Trunk and learned about the two sounds.
Things Theater Trunk.
This place is not my idea of a good time.
These are all the things the thing uses in his act.
You're right. There's the word that. The sound that starts that is the same sound that starts the word the. That, the. Oh, Mr. T, this is thrilling.
And there's the thing's pet moth. The sound that ends the word moth is the same sound that begins the word thing. Moth, thing.
At first, everyone was afraid of the thing, but it turned out to be a real swell person. Why, the thing sang a nice song for everyone that told about the two new sounds.
I'm the thing. I'm the real thing. I can dance. Take a chance on me. Take a chance on me.
Well, everyone loved the song, and Mr. T and Mr. H had two new ways to be in words. But Mr. H wasn't through yet. There were still some more deals to be made. That's why this whistle has a place of honor. Mr. W bet Mr. H that he could fool H with a magic trick. Mr. W was able to blow H's whistle without using his hands. Mr. H rewarded W with a new sound they would make together.
Wiggle, waggle, whoa, whoa, dink. Let the whistle come to me, wonderful wink.
No, he did it. Egad. Quiet! That was astounding, Mr. W. How did you...
I can't tell. Now let's decide what sound we'll make together.
Anything but a squish.
I know. Mr. Z told me all about you and squish boxes.
Hey! How about the sound that starts whistle?
That's a wonderful sound.
Whistle. The sound that starts whistle is not a squish, so we can get into a regular clue box.
Ooh, and I can use it in my magic act. The sound that starts whistle is the same sound that starts wheel.
Yeah! Whistle, wheel, I hear it.
Unfortunately, the deal that W and H made was a noisy one. They woke Mr. S from his nap. Mr. S was interested in a sound, too. One that wasn't as noisy.
A new quiet sound.
Well, as long as it's not a squish. Huh? What? I wasn't talking loud. Oh, I see. We'll make the sh sound together.
A nice quiet sound.
The same sound that starts shark. Shark. Shark, I hear it. What a nice, quiet sound.
Mr. S and Mr. H went on to use that new quiet sound that same day on the catching game. They started the word shed and got into a regular starting clue box. Captain Zemo won a nice prize, but fell asleep before they told him what it was. Yes, the Letter People Hall of Fame. It sure brings on some golden blasts from the past. There are 119 stories to be told in Letter People Land. Who knows? Maybe more. Someday, these empty displays will be filled with more stories. In the Letter People Hall of Fame.
Come and meet the Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.
The Letter People. Today, double cooperation and the ing sound.
See the Catching Game with Monty Swell, weekdays right here on DDT, serving all of Letter People Land. Now, stay tuned for Frantic Freddy's Rocking, Hopping Dancing Party coming up next. But first, this word about Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are
And
one of
she
Letter
lived
People Land's
happily
finest
ever
vegetables
after.
and good for you. Brussels
What
sprouts
a
with
beautiful ending to a beautiful
chopped mashed
story,
potatoes, gravy,
Cinderella.
anything
What
you
a
want.
lucky
So
girl.
remember, if your mom puts Brussels sprouts on the table in front of you,
I wonder what it would be like to go dancing in glass slippers.
Hey, hello, guys and dolls, moms and dads, cats and dogs. It's the swinging, singing, frantic Freddy's rocking, hopping, dancing party. And now, straight from the studios of DDT, flying high on Cloud 9, the swingin'est DJ in all the land, out of space, out of mind, and how we wish, out of sight. Here he is, that rambling rack of the record rack, Frantic Freddy!
You, Tom Fargo! Hey, kids, what's happening?
Freddy's happening!
That's right! And today, on Frantic Freddy's Rocking, Hopping, Dancing Party, we are introducing a whole new sound to Letter People Land. And what is that sound?
The ing sound!
All right! The ing sound! That tingling sensation that's sweeping the nation! Ing! How sweet it is! So, keep listening, all my happy hoofers out there, and if you get a chance, slip on your dancing slippers and come on down, 'cause we're going to be jumping!
Oh, I would so like to come down, Frantic Freddy. But my wicked sisters have locked me in my room, and there's no way out except maybe jumping out the window. But that won't work. I'm on the second floor. If I jumped out, I'd break my mop. Oh, and I so wanted to dance to your new ing sound.
Cindy, are you mopping the floor as I told you to?
Yes, big sister, I'm mopping.
We want this place cleaned and shiny by the time we get back from Frantic Freddy's TV show.
Frantic Freddy's? Oh, it's just not fair. Why should I have to do all the cleaning around here while they get to go dancing? They dirty this place as much as I do. Oh, what am I going to do?
Okay, kids, just another hit play from the musical kitchen, The Hitchhikers, and Does Your Chewing Gum Lose Its Flavor After Being Run Over by a Dump Truck? Now, sit tight and don't fight, because we'll be back in a flash after this word from the record rack. And what word is the word? Digging! Like your style! Hi kids, this is Frantic Freddy here to tell you what's happening with the new ing sound that's sweeping through Letter People Land. Ing. Music to my ears, and it can be music to your ears also if you use it right. Dig? Now dig's a cool word, but you never hear Frantic Freddy say, I am dig it, no siree. You hear him say, I am digging it. Digging. You hear the ing sound? It comes at the end of the word. Listen. Digging. Cool. Now, you can be just as cool as Freddy and use the ing sound if you follow these simple rules. Take any short vowel word like dig and double the cooperation. Why double the cooperation? Good question. Ing, see, comes only at the end of words. Isn't that heavy? Say, speaking of heavy, the letter girls told me that ing is heavy at the end of the word when the weak short vowel sound is heard. So they thought of double cooperation, an extra consonant to help hold those short vowel sound words together, so the words won't sag like a wet bag and be a drag. Oh, wow. So add an extra G to dig, attach ing, and you got yourself a cool word. Digging. Double cooperation. Double fantastic. So stay cool whether you're sitting, swimming, napping, jogging, or just plain digging it. Now, let's get back to the dance floor and stay tuned for more cool ways of using the new ing sound. Let's go to the high. Let's go. Okay, we're back at the rack and ready to wreck the deck with a brand new tune from the Enemies called I Wanna Be Your Friend.
Friend?
Friend.
Hail Silver! Away!
Now that's a friend. Another runaway word. Running away. Oh, well, running is good for you. I just have to go to Frantic Freddy's dance. But how can I go when I'm locked in my room? Oh, stars, I am wishing. Oh, me.
Hello there, sad person.
Who are you?
I'm Mr. S, the flying champion of Letter People Land. I heard you singing your sad-sounding song and came to see why you were sighing.
And you flew to my window?
Not really. You see, I have trouble flying into windows not knowing whether they're open or not. So instead, I climbed your ladder.
But I don't have a ladder.
You don't? Darn my socks.
Mr. S.
Don't worry. They don't call me Super Socks for nothing.
Oh, Mr. S. I want to go dancing at Frantic Freddy's rocking hopping dancing party. But my wicked sisters left, locking me in my room. What am I going to do?
You're going to go dancing.
How?
No problem. I'll fly you to Frantic Freddy's.
You will? Oh, thank you.
Hold on to my super socks. We're going to the hop.
Where is that rabbit? Presto, a rabbit. Hop. Oh, where is that rabbit? Double cooperation.
Okay, dancers and prancers, Donners and Dixons. We are ready for the unveiling of the top 5 cool, ing-sounding records in Letter People Land this week. In the number 5 position, a big hit on the charts this week. Yes, it's a hit. It's hitting with its double cooperation, Double T.
Hit. Hitting.
In the number 4 slot, a tune to make your toes tap, it's tapping with its double cooperation, Double P. Love that sound.
Tap. Tapping.
Number 3 will really keep everybody bopping, and that's it. Bopping with its double cooperation, Double P.
Bop. Bopping.
And second on the top 5 ing soundboard by the new hit group, The Tired Beat, jumping with its ho ho ho. Look closely, kids, and see just why this sound was chosen for number 2. Jump already has double cooperation built into the word, MP. It's not necessary to add anything, just the ing sound. So, remember, whenever a word already has double cooperation and you want to make it cool, just add the ing sound. And now, the number 1 song in Letter People Land this week, The Ing Sound by Ms. E. And here to sing their big hit is the grooviest group around, the Letter Girls.
We can tap, tap, tap like a woodpecker in a tree. But we add an extra P, yes, we add an extra P when we're tapping. We can cut, cut, cut like a scissors cutting through a seam. But we need another T, yes, we need another T when we're cutting. When ING joins the rest of us, just so
girls, you made my heart go tap, 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 like a woodpecker in a tree. And now, hey kids, what time is it?
It's stomping, bopping time, Freddy!
So, wind up your feet and get out of your seat. The contest begins for those who love to spin. Here's a blast from the past. The mirrors and seeing you reminds me of me.
Mr. S, we arrived just in time. Let's dance.
But I've never danced before.
It's as easy as washing your socks. Just follow me.
This is super, Cindy. Do you think we have a chance to win the contest?
Don't worry, friend, because believe it or not, Bobby's socks...
That's super socks.
Well, then just get a whiff of this. You and Cindy have won the stuffing contest! And we have to go because there's no more time to blow. This is Frantic Freddy, the rambling wreck of the record rack, saying keep swinging. See ya, kids!
See ya, Freddy!
Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.
The letter people, today AR and the divided catching clue box. Or Star Trip Part 1.
High on a secluded mountaintop sits the headquarters of the Letter People Space Agency. And it is here tonight that Mr. R has a quietly arranged meeting with Professor Smart, director of the Space Agency.
The mission may be difficult, Mr. R. It may be dangerous. But we know you are the letter person who can tackle it.
I shall do my best, Professor Smart.
Now, we've been receiving these mysterious signals from outer space for about a week.
And you say that if we find where they're coming from, we may learn how my name can be used in a word?
The signals seem to indicate that. Miss A, as you know, has been working at LIPSA and proving herself quite valuable. But about a week ago, she vanished into thin air. Space. Perhaps outer space. The signals started shortly after her disappearance. We think, we fear, she may be signaling for help. Your spaceship be fitted with a new computer system. It's called Marvelous Analytical and Logical, or MAL for short. It will guide you directly to the source of the signals.
Thank you, Professor, and good night.
Good night. And, R.
Yes?
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hello there, friends and neighbors. I am Marvin. That's my name. I'm just a simple aardvark. But I'm on the road to fame. I have a wish, a dream, a hope. I want to be a star. My name in lights, applause, and cheers. This aardvark will go far. A star, Marvin the star. I'm sure I'll do okay. I hope the world is ready for my tippy-toe ballet. A star, a star, a star.
Good evening, Miss Mr. R.
Who's that?
This is your computer, Mal.
You gave me quite a fright.
I'm sorry. Enjoying the trip, Mr. R?
Why, thank you for asking, Mal. Delightfully smooth so far.
Yes, it has been, hasn't it? But, Mr. R, I'm getting tired of being marvelous, analytical, and logical. I want to be a little naughty. In fact, Mal may just malfunction. Yes, I think I will.
Now, don't get rash, Mr. Mal.
So long, Mr. R. You're on your own.
No, Mal, have mercy. Help!
Greetings, Mr. R.
Oh, my. And who are you?
Oh, the name's Star. Lucky Star.
Not my lucky star, perchance?
Why, sure. Why not?
I never knew I had a lucky star. I've got to find Miss A. The Letter People Space Agency, we call it LIPSA for short, and the Letter People Space Agency for long, believes she may have been kidnapped into outer space.
Miss A kidnapped?
Ever since her disappearance, we've been hearing these mysterious signals, as if Miss A was signaling for help. And LIPSA believes once we find Miss A and the signals, we'll even hear my name, my own humble name, R, in a word.
Well, let's get with it, Mr. R. You know, your name is often heard in words. Even out here in space, we hear it all the time. For instance, what do they call me?
You introduced yourself as Lucky Star. Star? Star? Oh, glory, Star! I hear my name. Star. Star. How beautiful. But how is it done?
Why, with the divided catching clue box.
The divided catching clue box? What, pray tell, is that?
It's a clue box in which you can sometimes stand, Mr. R, and Miss A, too, to make a whole new sound. A sound that puts your name in a word.
Where is this divided catching clue box?
There's one on the planet Snickers. The wicked Empress Mung of the planet Snickers had one there for years. Nobody knows how it got there. But Empress Mung has never had the letter people to make it work. But a divided catching clue box needs 2 letter people. That must be why Miss A is signaling for help.
Now we must find the divided catching clue box and Miss A.
Oh, good thinking, Mr. R. Before we go, I'll remind you of more words in which you can hear your name. Ready, Mr. R?
Indeed, Mr. Star. Oh, what glory, my very own name in words.
I ride through the sky on that bright light way up high. On a clear night you might see me. I'm not a dipper or a saucer or Mars. I'm a star. I'm a lucky star. I can help you hear your name in lots of words, Mr. R. For example, would you like to put your name in a car, maybe in a jar? Stick with me, boy, and you'll go far. Stick with Lucky Star. Stick with Lucky Star. I ride through the sky on that bright light way up high. On a clear night you might see me. I'm not a dipper or a saucer or Mars. I'm a star. I'm a lucky star. play a part? Do you want to be an artist? Do you want to study art? That's a start. Stick with me, boy, and you'll go far. Stick with Lucky Star. Stick with Lucky Star. I ride through the sky on that bright light way up high. On a clear night you might see me. I'm not a dipper or a saucer or Mars. I'm a star. I'm a lucky star. As you see, Mr. R, you can say your name in many different words. Many shapes, many sizes. From spark to bark, to cart to heart. Your name has so many disguises. I ride through the sky on that bright light way up high. On a clear night you might see me. I'm not a dipper or a saucer or Mars. I'm a star. I'm a lucky star.
Miss A, we found you!
Mr. R, you're here at last.
Thanks to my friend, Lucky Star.
Pleased to meet you, Lucky Star.
Oh, my pleasure, Ms. A.
Empress Mung, Your Highness. Empress Mung, Mr. R is here.
Miss A, you were calling. Oh, another of these strange creatures from Letter People Land.
This is Mr. R, Your Highness, and his friend, Lucky Star. Now that Mr. R is here, we'll make your divided catching clue box work.
It will be a beautiful sound, Your Highness, I promise you. What word shall we do, Miss A?
Well, if I could make a suggestion, how about star?
A wonderful word. If we can just find someone to stand in for Mr. S and Mr. T in the starting squish box.
I think I can. We stars have great powers. Now, let me concentrate for a minute. Hey, I can even make Mr. S and Mr. T sounds, so we can play the catching game.
What a magnificent power to have, Lucky Star. What a friend you are. You can use your marvelous magical power in the starting squish box. I'll stand beside Miss A in the divided catching clue box.
I can't wait. I've had this divided clue box here for years and have never been able to make it work. Go ahead, make it work.
Star.
Ooh, again.
Star.
Wonderful.
You see, Your Highness, with Mr. R standing next to me, we make a completely new sound. A sound without my long or short sign.
A sound that is my name. I love it.
Oh, I do too.
And now, Your Highness, Ms. A and Mr. R want to get back home. Can I show them the way back to the spaceship and set it on its course?
Yes, Empress Mung. You promised.
Of course, Miss A may go. Take her home, Star. She was superb. I may even name one of our moons after her. A moon.
What an honor, Miss A. Well, let's go.
But not you, Mr. R. I did not say you may go. I still have work for you.
What?
Why, you can't do that, Mung.
I have given my command. Leave with Miss A while you can, Star.
No. We won't go without Mr. R.
That's right.
I said I have given my command. You have 2 minutes.
Take Miss A home, Star. Whatever Empress Mung has in store for me, I'll face it bravely.
Well, we better leave now, Miss A, if we're going to catch the spaceship in the proper position on its orbit.
Goodbye, Mr. R. I know Empress Mung will let you go soon.
She can be tricky, Mr. R, so be careful. I'll try to get back as soon as I can.
I know you will, Star. Goodbye, friends. I'll be brave. And now, who'll hear me when I call for help? Help!
Tune in next time for Star Trip Part 2. Mr. R's new challenge. Or, when you wish upon a star, wait 3 to 6 weeks for delivery.
Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me. Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.
The letter people. Today's Star Trip Part 2. Or the OR sound.
In our first episode of Star Trip, Mr. R was asked by Professor Smart, director of the Letter People Space Agency, to take on a secret journey into outer space. Mr. R's double mission? Find the source of the mysterious space signals and find Ms. A, who had disappeared into outer space. But once out in space, Mr. R's troubles began. The computer guiding his spaceship had stopped working. Then Mr. R met Lucky Star, who heard Mr. R's call for help. And what a friend Lucky Star was. Leaving the spaceship in docking orbit, Lucky Star led Mr. R through space at the speed of light, which is really fast. Led him through the Milky Way, past Mars, to the planet Snickers. And on the way, Lucky Star told Mr. R about the many words in which Mr. R could hear his name. Words like star and Mars and others, too. But Mr. R's adventures in space weren't over yet. And now, Star Trip Part 2. Mr. R's new challenge.
Whoa, woe is me. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You'll simply have to stop this yelling, Mr. R. I love the sound you made with Ms. A in the divided catching clue box. But this is completely out of line.
I think it must be perfectly obvious, Your Highness, that I wish to return to let her people land.
I wouldn't try anything, Mr. R. My palace is surrounded by the Mung militia, the best trained guards on all of Snickers. The ray beams can make you very itchy.
Ray beams?
Yes, all they have to do is point one of their little antennae at you and go buzz, buzz, and you're itchy, itchy all over.
Oh, dear.
So be patient, Mr. R. Soon you'll be making another new and wonderful sound in the divided catching clue box.
I will. Ah, but that means you must be bringing another poor soul from Letter People Land to Snickers.
We shall see, Mr. R. We shall see.
Mung, you're merciless.
up, Mal, and stop this silly malfunctioning. Come on, get back to work.
Oh, good evening, Lucky Star.
No tricks now. This is Miss A, and I want you to take her right back to Letter People Land. You understand?
Okay, Lucky Star. You just don't want to see a computer have any fun, do you?
Oh, thank you, Lucky Star.
You're sure a great explorer, Miss A.
Oh, my. That looked like one of Mung's spaceships. And I'm sure I saw Miss O on board. Be brave, Miss O. Be brave, Mr. R.
Now I am alone. I wonder what Empress Mung has up her cape now. It's fun to make new sounds, that's true. Oh, but oh, how I'd rather be doing it in Letter People Land.
Thank you, Mugu, for a lovely voyage. I only hope the weekend is as pleasant.
Oh, I'm sure it will be, Miss O.
I can't wait to meet your Empress Mung, but I'm telling you now, Mugu, I'm sure I don't have a third sound in my repertoire. Why, Mr. R, you're here. I didn't realize you were invited for the weekend, too.
Well, I wouldn't exactly put it that way.
I suppose you two have lots to talk about. I'll go and tell the Empress you're here, Miss O.
Thank you, Mugu.
I hope you're all right, Miss O.
Why, of course, Mr. R. It was a delightful trip. How could I pass up an invitation for such an unusual weekend? However, if this Empress Mung expects me to come up with a new sound in this new clue box, she's going to be disappointed. I have my long sound O, or my short sound A, and that's it. If they were good enough for the crowned heads of Europe, they'll have to be good enough for this Empress. What's her name?
I don't know, Miss O. When I stood beside Miss A in the clue box, we did make a new sound. A lovely sound that we could use in a lot of words. Perhaps you and I will be able to make still another one.
I'm sure you will, Miss O.
What?
Miss O, may I present the Empress Mung?
How do you do, Your Highness? How kind of you to let me come.
The pleasure is mine, Miss O. And now, on to business. Oh, I can't wait to see the divided catching clue box at work again.
I'm afraid, Your Highness, it may be a waste of time. I have my long sound O as in bone, or my short sound A as in pot, and that is that.
Or
what?
No, the sound. Or. What a lovely sound. Why don't we try that?
Or is a lovely sound. Miss O, please, step into the clue box.
Oh, all right. Anything to oblige a hostess.
Mr. R, you too, please.
Of course, Your Highness.
Now, let's hear it.
We'll try.
Or.
Yes, I can hear it now. There is a new sound I can make when Mr. R stands beside me in the clue box. And it's a word, too. It's the word or. And it's a sound, too, for other words. Words like corn and horn. Delightful.
Yes, it is delightful, isn't it? Why, if Mr. F were here and in the starting clue box...
And Mr. T in the ending clue box...
We'd make the word fort.
Yes, I can see it now.
And if Mr. M were here to step into the ending clue box, we'd make the word for.
Yes, I can see it now. And corn and horn. Oh, I love them. I love them all.
Oh,
Your Highness, how did you know I would have this additional talent? How could you have such faith in me?
Let me tell you about a dream I had. A dream that was filled with your new sound, yours and Mr. Oz. A dream about Morris.
Morris was a porcupine. Gorgeous Morris was divine. He wore size 40 orange shorts and was the king of water sports. He dove and swam with perfect form. He took the sporting world by storm. Morris built a shore resort. He's doing well at last report.
And so you see, Miss O, that is how I had such faith in you. My dream was filled with the wonderful new sound you and Mr. R make together. Morris the porcupine. What a sport!
One splendid word after another.
It is a lovely sound, Your Highness.
And I want to hear it again and again and again. But first, let me go and prepare a marvelous banquet to celebrate. Then we'll get back to work, you wonderful little people, you.
What does she mean? She'll want to hear it again and again and again.
Well, I have a feeling we could be here on Snickers, forever.
Well, I can't do that. I have a guest appearance on the Opera Hour Monday night. I'm doing an aria from La Traviata, and I've been rehearsing for weeks.
Lucky Star warned me Mung could be tricky.
Who warned you?
Lucky Star, my new space friend. And what a chum if only he returned.
Golly gosh, no sooner said than done, Mr. R. I got Miss A safely back to Letter People Land and hurried right back here, faster than a speeding bullet, if I say so myself.
Star, what a wonder you are.
Lucky Star, may I introduce myself? Ms. O of Letter People Land.
Gosh, I'm sure pleased to meet you, Ms. O.
Mung brought Miss O here to make another new sound with me in the divided catching clue box. And a glorious sound it is, Star. But we're both quite anxious to return home now. Do you think you can manage it before Mung and what's its name, Mugu, return?
Oh, so you met Mugu of Mung's militia. Mugu's Mung's right arm. Well, we better get out of here fast. I got the spaceship orbiting right above the palace.
Lucky Star, I have a smashing idea. Don't you think we ought to take the divided catching clue box back to Letter People Land? Just think what a hit it will be on the catching game. I can't wait to perform my new sound with Mr. R. All this time I've been so modest, limiting myself to my long sound or my short sound.
Ms. O may be right, Mr. R. After all, the divided catching clue box probably belongs in Letter People Land. I guess we can hang it on one of my points until we reach the spaceship.
Well, let's start pushing, Mr. R.
I'll make sure that the coast is clear.
All right, Miss O. Let's give it a shove. 1, 2, and 3.
It's moving! We're moving it! What a team we make, Mr. R!
Stop it! What do you think you're doing?
Oh, Your Highness. I just thought I'd redecorate your lovely dungeon a bit. I don't think you're making the best use of your space.
You did you? Well, you don't fool me. Where were you going with my clue box? Back to Letter People Land.
Uh-oh, the jig is up. Mr. R and Ms. O, we better leave, and now...
Stop them, Mugu!
Uh-oh, the itchy ray beam.
Yipes, I'm itching all over, just like Miss I. I'll never be able to hold on, Star, until we get back to the spaceship. Take Miss O and go, quickly, before Miss O gets it too.
Come on, Miss O.
Oh, dear, now I'm really trapped. And this confounded itching, will it ever stop? Oh, pooh! Help! Help!
Be sure and watch next time for Star Trip Part 3, Mung's Final Triumph, or Sing Along with Itch.
Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.
The letter people. Today, Star Trip Part 3, or the sound.
The end of our second chapter on Star Trip, Miss O and Lucky Star escape from the palace of Empress Mung on the planet Snickers. But Mr. R was overcome by the itchy ray beam of Mugu, the chief of Mung's snickering militia. So Mr. R was unable to escape back to the spaceship and remains trapped in the palace of Empress Mung. And now, Star Trip Part 3, Mung's Final Triumph.
I see the effects of the itchy ray beam have worn off. I suppose you've learned your lesson.
Oh, I am getting sleepy. I really do need some rest, Your Highness.
Now stop that drowsiness, Mr. R. Soon, 3 more of your friends are going to be here.
3?
Yes, 3! They'll be here in about 5 minutes or so, if Mugu's astronomical calculations are correct.
Oh, dear. Mung, I'll say it again, you're merciless.
That's what they call me.
Snickership! Oh, this is Mugu calling Mung's Snickership! Are you there, Snickership? Come in, Snickership!
Mugu, this is Snickership. Mugu, this is Snickership. We're pulling into landing position now.
Oh, how was your trip, Snickership? Did you have much traffic?
We passed the Letter People spaceship on its way back to Letter People land. That Miss O was singing up a storm.
Oh, storm! Storm! Well, of course it was. The word storm has the new or sound she made with Mr. R and the divided catching clue box.
Well, we're approaching the landing platform now, Mugu.
Take it easy on your approach, then, Snickership. I'll meet you on the landing platform. Empress Moon wants to see those 3 passengers right away. She can't wait to hear some new sounds.
Roger Dodger, Mugu. This is Snickership signing off.
Oh, my goodness, I am sleepy.
Mr. R! Good gracious, Mr. R, however are you feeling? The Letter People Space Agency has been sending out hourly bulletins on your heroism, Mr. R, and all the new sounds you've been helping to make in the divided catching clue box.
How did Mung get you here?
It was ever so exciting, Mr. R. There we were out walking, and we decided to have lunch. We saw a little restaurant we'd never seen before, and stepped inside.
And it wasn't a restaurant at all. It was a spaceship. And off we went.
There's no end to these tricks of Mung. Wait a moment. She said there were to be 3 of you.
Hello, Mr. R. Good work you're doing out here in space.
Thank you, Ms. E.
Well, Letter People, Empress Mung has filled me in. She wants all of us to make new sounds with Mr. R in the divided catching clue box, one at a time. So we better start thinking about it. She'll be here in a couple of minutes.
New sounds with all three of you?
We must give it our undivided attention, Mr. R.
It's imperative, Mr. R.
She was emphatic, Mr. R.
Oh, but I can't. I can't.
Why not?
I'm tired. I'm tired. I've made so many sounds. There's three of you and one of me. Not enough to go around. I just can't make three more sounds.
Please, Mr. R, please. Let's try to share one sound. We can't get out before we do. It might be years until we're found in a dungeon deep down underground.
Now let me see. Mizzy. The sound we'd make together would be the sound in fern and germ. And Miss You would help me make the sound in turn and burn. Besides, we could make the sound in bird and girl and skirt. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Fern and turn and bird and germ? Why, yes, I think it works.
Now we have got a sound we can share, a new sound all our own. With Mr. R, at last we're found. We'll give the Empress our one new sound, then we can go home, home, home.
Turn up the music, swing your skirts. Dance, dance, dance till your stockings hurts. La 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 Oh, what beautiful new sounds I have! Burn and germ and turn and burn and bird and girl and
Mr. R, perhaps we can fool Empress Mung. Mizzy, Mizai, and I will each make a sound with you in the divided clue box. But it will be the same sound. We'll simply spell it differently.
When she sees that her plan to make three new sounds with us has failed, perhaps then she will let us all go back to Letter People Land.
Yes, and you won't have to tire yourself further by making three new sounds, Mr. R.
A plan. Yes, a plan, and a good one, too. It must work.
With all that racket you're making, you must be working very hard. I shall be most anxious to hear your new sounds. All of them. Who's first?
I shall go first, Your Highness. Presenting the new sound to be made by Mr. R and myself in the divided catching clue box. Mr. R, if you please. The sound we shall make is the catching sound in the word germ. If Mr. G were in the starting clue box and Mr. M in the ending clue box, we would make the word germ. Let's try it.
Germ. Germ.
Do you hear our new sound, Your Highness?
Yes, I hear it. I do hear it. Wonderful, Mizzy.
Thank you, Your Highness. Ms. I, you're next.
The sound we shall make in the divided catching clue box is the sound, as in the word bird. Just imagine, Your Highness, that Mr. B is in the starting clue box and Mr. D in the ending clue box.
Yes, I can imagine that. Perhaps soon they will be.
then the word we would make is bird. Bird. Bird.
Oh, how wonderful! I hear your sound again.
Our pleasure, Your Highness. Now, Miss Yu, if you please, it's your turn.
Your Majesty, we'd now like your grace to imagine that Mr. T is in the starting clue box and Mr. N is in the ending clue box. Then you would hear our catching sound in the word turn.
Turn. Turn.
It's your catching sound. It's still another wonderful word.
Thank you, Your Grace. Thank you ever so much.
Wait a minute. What's going on here? All three of you have taken a turn with Mr. R in the divided catching clue box. You've told me some wonderful words, but you all keep making the same catching sound. The sound, What's going on here?
Why, nothing, Your Grace.
That's just the way it is, Your Highness. Whenever any of the three of us stand beside Mr. R in the divided catching clue box, it's going to be the same sound.
I think it's rather interesting.
But I wanted new sounds. A whole festival of sounds.
But the sound we've been making is quite nice. And once a new sound is made in the divided catching glue box, it can't be changed. Just listen to how many times you can hear it in the story of Merle the turtle.
There was a purple turtle known as Merle who loved Myrtle Turtle. Lovely girl. Sweet Myrtle was quite vain about her purple mane. She cherished each and every purple curl. A burglar stole Sweet Myrtle's curls and fled. She cried and put a brown bag on her head.
Come out of there. Don't hide. I love you inside.
Bald Myrtle and Merle Turtle soon were wed.
Now, wasn't that a lovely story, Your Highness?
Yes, yes, lovely, lovely. But I wanted new catching sounds. Lots of them. A whole symphony of them. Why do you think I brought three of you here at the same time? Mugu!
Oh, you screamed, Your Majesty!
Mugu, I think I've become too enthusiastic about this divided catching clue box. We've used up all this fuel to bring these three new letter people here to make new sounds with Mr. R. And they all make the same sound. The same sound! Well, if that's the way things are, let them all go back to letter people land.
Oh, but are you sure, Your Highness?
I'm sure, Mugu. After all, I am the Empress of the great Snickerin' Empire, and I do have a few other things to do, you know. Tell Mr. R's friend, that Lucky Star, to get their spaceship here, and they all can leave.
Oh, but what do we do now?
As a final farewell gesture, we will sing them the Snickers National Anthem.
Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.
The Letter People. Today, the Hall of Fame. A review of C&K.
The detective here, super sleuth, seeker of truth, and part-time night watchman here at the Letter People Hall of Fame. Yes, the Letter People Hall of Fame. A place dedicated to the memory of great and sometimes silly events that have taken place right here in Letter People land. At first I took this job because I work alone. That gives me the chance to practice wearing all the clever disguises I need for my detective work. But I soon found out that the Letter People Hall of Fame is chock full of great stories. Well, not so long ago, in the very recent past, Letter People Land welcomed two new letter persons to the ever-growing family. Yes, two fine gentlemen. Mr. C, whose sound is, of course, the same sound that starts cotton candy, and Mr. K, whose sound is the same that starts kicking. Well, two very nice guys, C and K. Very talented, too. In fact, some people claim that you can't find two better singers in all of Letter People Land.
Come on and kick with Mr. K. Come on and kick your cares away. Come on and kick the ball. Come on and kick the can. But never, ever kick a man.
I'm just a cloud of cotton candy, Mr. C. I'm just a cloud of cotton candy, Mr. C.
Yes, both Mr. C and Mr. K could belt out a song that could please a crowd. And when it came to knowing about their sounds, well, they're both good. They're very good. Like the time Mr. K was helping the Grand Shish of Kebab find the key that would free a father, the king, who had been kidnapped by the nasty Kernak.
Kite. Kicking. Kite. Kite starts with the same sound that starts kicking. Maybe Kernak tied the key on the tail of a kite and it's flying over the Hall of Keys right now.
I had the same idea, Mr. K, but there's no wind today. Then I thought that maybe Kernak hid the key in a box of tacks.
Tacks. Kicking. Tacks. Kicking. No, it doesn't start with my sound.
That's right, Mr. K. Tacks does not start with the same sound that starts kicking.
But it does start with the same sound that starts tall teeth.
And Mr. C was no slouch when he showed Ms. U and Mr. B around the carnival. Mr. C really knew his sound. He had it down cold.
Boy, oh boy, there's something you don't see every day.
Very unusual.
Yep, that's a cool clock, all right. Clock, cotton candy. Clock, cotton candy. Clock starts with the same sound that starts cotton candy. You see, everything in this carnival starts with my sound.
Wait a minute. I know something in this carnival that does not start with your sound.
What's that?
That funny piano over there.
He's right, Mr. C. I'm afraid piano does not start with the same sound that starts cotton candy. Listen. Piano, cotton candy. Piano, cotton candy. See, it's not the same sound.
Well, this isn't the piano. It's called a calliope. Calliope, cotton candy. Calliope, cotton candy. Calliope does start with the same sound that starts cotton candy.
And when it came to playing the catching game, both Mr. C and Mr. K really knew their way around a clue box.
You think so? Let's try it and see. And that's Mr. K in the starting clue box. He makes the same sound that starts kicking. And that's Miss I in the catching clue box. She makes the same sound that starts itchy itch. Mr. T and his sound, the same sound that starts tall teeth, is in the ending clue box. Kit. The word is kit. Kit. You're trying to trick me. Prove it.
Kit.
Hey, that's kicky. Do it again.
Kit.
Well, kickapoo in Kalamazoo, it is kit.
Now sound out the word cub and tell me who you'll call out to get into the starting clue box.
Cub. Cub. I think I might say, without too much fear of being corrected, that the sound I hear is the same sound that starts cotton candy. So I'll call out Mr. C to get into the starting clue box.
Right again, Mr. Camel. Now who you're gonna call out to get into the catching clue box?
Cub. Cub. The catching sound I hear is the same sound that starts Upsy-Daisy Umbrella. So undoubtedly it is Miss U. Miss U, come forward and take your place in the catching clue box.
Now that's real good. You're going like a house afire. Now who you gonna call out to get in the ending clue box?
Cub. Cub. The ending sound I hear is the same sound that starts beautiful buttons. Mr. B, do be so kind as to enter the ending clue box.
Now hold on just a little bitsy minute. We're gonna see if you're right. Letter people, make your sounds catch.
Cub.
Yes, everyone thought that Mr. C and Mr. K had it made. They had everything. Talent, respect, good looks. Well, almost everything. There was just one problem.
I told you I'm leaving Letter People Land. As long as Mr. K is around, you don't need me.
Oh, stop being so stubborn. We need all of the letter people.
Hi, I'm Brock. How's everything?
Terrible, Mr. K, just terrible. Mr. Z says he's leaving Letter People Land.
You bet I am. And you should know why, Mr. K. You've taken my sound. The same sound that starts cotton candy.
Impossible. I already have my own sound. The same sound that starts kicking. Why would I want your cotton candy sound?
I don't know why, but you've got it. Listen. Cotton candy, kicking.
Cotton candy, kicking. Hey, both sounds are the same. You can't have my k sound, Mr. C.
I was here first. You took my sound. You should be the one to leave.
I'm not leaving.
Then they should take away your sound, since it's mine anyway.
You can't do that. Everyone in Letter People Land has his or her own sound. I'd have to leave.
Good.
Now hold on, no one's leaving. You're both going to Miss I's place and talk this over. We'll get this settled once and for all.
And it was over at Ms. I's place that Mr. C and Mr. K decided what vowels they would stand next to at the start of words.
Oh,
But Mr. C turned out to be something less than a square shooter, and then things got a little sticky.
Really a big ice cream soda, Mr. C. Good, too. Why don't we wait till it's gone before we put our names next to the letter girls?
All right, Mr. K. We won't decide till the soda is gone.
Now, which vowels would I like to stand next to?
I want to get a head start on Mr. K. Maybe I can get him to turn away. Then while he isn't looking, I'll put my name in front of Ms. A. Hey, Mr. K, what's that behind you?
What? Who? Where? Huh?
Now I have my name next to Ms. A. So in front of A, C must always stay. Everyone, please remember that. C makes the k sound in words such as cat.
That's not fair. We haven't finished drinking the soda yet. Well, I'll fix you. Because you wouldn't wait for me, I'll put my name next to two vowels, not one, Mr. C. No matter what you say, E and I will always be with K. Everyone now will have to agree that K has the k sound in kiss and in key.
Ooh, I'm upset as can be. You'll never get the best of me. Since you, Mr. K, did not care to share, now I, too, will be unfair. Near O and U I'll place my name, and that ends our little game.
Oh dear, I didn't get my wish. Now, isn't this a fine kettle of fish? Mr. C will make words with vowels A, O, and U, leaving me, poor K, next to only two, E and I. I think I'm going to cry.
What's wrong with those two? Still squabbling about their sounds?
Poor Mr. K is upset because Mr. C gets to stand next to three vowels, A, O, and U, while all K stands next to is E and I.
Please do something, Miss A. We can't have Mr. K sobbing all day.
Perhaps I can get them to play a little game. Mr. C, Mr. K, see if you know which one of you starts these words. Here's the first one.
Aha, that's a cap. And I start the word because I stand next to Ms. A. Cap. C-A-P.
Right you are, Mr. C, but the next one isn't so easy. It looks like a little barrel, doesn't it?
It's a keg, and I start the word with my k sound because I stand next to Ms. E. Keg. K-E-G.
You're right, too. Okay, here's number 3.
Corn on the cob. Cob. I start the word with my k sound because I stand next to Ms. O. Cob. C-O-B.
Very, very good. But watch out for this one, it's tricky.
That's a baby goat. 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 I don't hear my k sound.
Think, Mr. K. What do you call a baby goat?
A kid. A baby goat is called a kid. And I start the word because I stand in front of Ms. I. K-I-D. Kid.
Right again. Here's the last one.
Cup. C-U-P. I start the word because I stand next to Ms. U.
So it was settled. C makes the k sound before A, O, and U. And K makes the k sound before E and I. And even though C got to stand in front of 3 vowels, he still wasn't satisfied.
Mr. C, only Mr. K gets to make the k sound in
Just when things were looking pretty grim, the Super Sox Kid himself, Mr. S, came to the rescue.
Wait a minute, here's an idea. When I stand in front of E and I, why couldn't I borrow a sound from Mr. S? I think that's only fair since my name, C, goes with Mr. S's sound, Super Sox. C, Super Sox. How about it, Mr. S? May I borrow your sound?
Oh, all right. Anything to get going. If K can keep his sound, I will agree to let C have a sound from me. I guess C has a proper claim. My sound goes exactly with his name. C may say S before E and I. Now I really must fly. Bye-bye.
And that finally ended all the arguing. Mr. C got his wish and decided to stay in Letter People Land. And although a lot of people thought that Mr. K got the short end of the stick, he was happy too. He told me later that he had nothing to kick about. Yes, the Letter People Hall of Fame. It sure brings on some golden blasts from the past. There are 119 stories to be told in Letter People Land. Who knows? Maybe more. Someday, these empty displays will be filled with more stories. In the Letter People Hall of Fame.
And visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.
Today, meet Mr. Y.
I did it. What a view! And there's Letter People Land way, way down there. It looks so small. I wonder if they can hear me from way up here. Oh, that's my echo. That didn't sound like me. I know that wasn't me.
Of course not. It was me. Who are you?
My name's Yolinda. But who or what are you?
I'm a yodel.
A yodel? What's that?
Listen. That's a yodel. And this is my home.
I never heard music like that before. Oh, I wish I could do it. I like it. Will you do it again?
Sure. Like my singing, huh?
Yes, very much. Oh, I'll bet the Letter People would like it too. How about coming with me? You'd be a big hit at tomorrow's Outdoor Sound Festival.
No. I couldn't do that.
But why? It'll be fun.
Because I like it up here where I can sing and dance and play all day.
You'd make a lot of people happy if you'd come with me.
Oh, no. I like it here. Have to run now. If your friends want to hear me sing, they'll have to come up here. Bye.
Wait. Oh, gosh, I'd sure like that yodel to sing at tomorrow's festival. I wonder if the Letter People would know what to do. Think I'll climb down and find out.
Suffering string beans, Missy. Why do we have to build the stage?
Because we're the strongest. Easy now. Just a little more, Mr. S. What's this? A box? That has to go.
Let's set this thing down and move it, Missy.
What in the world is a yellow yarn box, Mr. S?
Darn my socks if I know. Sleeping sardines. What was that?
Oh, hello. Am I here?
This is Letter People Land. I'm Ms. E, and this is Mr. S.
Then I'm here.
Excuse me. I'm so tired. I'm Mr. Y, and I got in late yesterday.
Mr. Y, we've been expecting you.
And your sound. What is it?
Can't you guess? My sound is the same sound that starts yawning. Yawning.
That's some slick yawn you got there.
I know.
If you keep it up, you're going to put me to sleep. I'm so sleepy. I can't keep my eyes open.
What's this? Everybody's asleep. Come on, Miss E. Mr. S, wake up. I need your help.
Oh, hello, Yolinda. Guess I fell asleep.
Oh, me too. It's Mr. Y here.
Mr. Who?
I'm Mr. Y, and I get my sound from the same sound that starts yawning. Oh, sorry.
What can we do for you, Yolinda? Yolinda?
Oh, dear. Mr. Y's put her to sleep, too.
Yolinda!
What?
You wanted our help?
Help? Oh, yeah, help! Wonder what made me go to sleep like that. Well, there's this little yodel up in the mountains. I asked her to sing at the Sound Festival tomorrow, but she wouldn't come.
Why not?
Because she likes to sing and dance and play up there. Think we can change her mind and get her to sing for us?
I think that's a job for Mr. Y.
Mr. Y? Why?
Because yodel starts with the same sound that starts yawning. Hear it? Yodel, yawning, yodel, yawning.
Then you'll help?
I'll try.
If he can stay awake long enough.
Oh, hush, Mr. S.
You said this yodel likes to play?
Yes.
Maybe I have something in my yellow yarn box. Let's see. Here's a yo-yo. Yo-yo starts with the same sound that starts yawning. Yo-yo, yawning. Think she'd like this yo-yo?
You bet. Let's take it along.
Yep, we'll do that. How about this wig I knitted out of yellow yarn? Oh, darn, that won't work. Wig doesn't start with the same sound that starts yawning.
Are you sure?
Wig, yawning. Wig, yawning. Nope, wig does not start with the same sound.
How about some yellow yarn, then? She can knit while she's playing in the yard.
Yellow yarn, yes, that might work. Yellow starts with the same sound. Yellow, yawning. Yellow, yawning. Yes, that's right. Now let's try yarn. Yawning, yarn. It's the same. Yarn, yawning.
Yahoo!
Please don't yell in my ear. You'll wake me up.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to yowl like that. But I just know once that yodel sees all this, she'll sing at the Sound Festival. Let's go!
Where?
Up yonder, to the top of the mountain. Ah! Ah!
Yodelette. Oh, I'm so happy. Yahoo! Singing and playing all day long. This is the best place in the whole wide world. Yodelette.
There she is!
It's about time. We've been climbing for 8 hours.
More like 16. Darn my socks, Mr. Y. I never met anyone who could fall asleep climbing a mountain.
Sorry.
You sure did. 17 times. No wonder it took so long.
Oh, Yodel, we brought you some presents.
Presents? I love presents. I hope it's something to play with.
Oh, they are. Look what we brought you. A yo-yo and some yellow yarn.
Yodelette.
And you can have them if you come and sing at the Letter People Sound Festival.
Oh, no. I told you before, I like it here. You can keep your yo-yo and your yellow yarn.
Yoicks! What now?
Maybe Mr. Y can tie his yellow yarn on one of these trees and climb down and catch the little scamp.
That wouldn't be very nice, Mr. S.
No, it wouldn't. Besides, Mr. S., these aren't trees. This is a capital Y, and it makes the same sound that starts yawning. And this is a lowercase y, and it makes the same sound that starts yawning. Oh, so sleepy.
I've got it. Mr. Y, your yawning always makes everybody sleepy. Can you sing a song that uses your yawn?
Yes.
Good. See if you can sing the yodel to sleep. We'll make a game out of it.
Why didn't I think of that?
I'll try. Yoo-hoo! Yodel. Want to play a game?
A game? I like games.
If I can put you to sleep, will you come and sing at the festival tomorrow?
Sure will, but you'll never do it.
I don't know about that. Mr. Y's got one super sensational yawn.
Oh, why do I yawn all day? Oh, why do I feel this way? Why is my mouth always open so? Why am I yawning, always yawning? I don't know. Why am I yawning when I laugh and when I cry? Because I'm yawning. I'm Mr. Y. Oh, why am I always yawning? Oh, I am so tired of yawning. I have to yawn. Oh, I bet I can make you yawn too. But you have to yawn politely, as I do. Now put your hand in front of your mouth. That's the polite way. Ready? Yawn. Oh, why do I yawn all day? I feel this way. Why is my mouth always open so? Why am I yawning, always yawning? I don't know. Why Why am I yawning when I laugh and when I cry? Because I'm yawning, yawning, yawning. I'm Mr. Y.
I don't hear anything.
Me either.
I think I did it.
I think you did.
No, he didn't.
Huh?
You put Mr. S to sleep again.
Darn my sound.
Mr. S, wake up.
Was it? Darn it! You even put my super socks to sleep.
Yodelity, yodelity, yodelity. Ooh. But not me. Told you it wouldn't work.
Yeah. We'll never get her to come.
Oh, no, no, no. Not that way. How about another game?
Notice how she always says no. Maybe if we get her to say yes.
Of course, the catching game.
Darn my socks. Why didn't I think of that?
Yodel, if we get you to say yes, will you sing for us tomorrow?
I might.
You have to, or we won't play any more games.
Oh, all right. What's the game?
The catching game.
Oh, I like that one. Let's play.
Letter people to your clue boxes. Ready, Yodel?
Ready.
The letter people are making a word, and you have to tell us what it is. Who's in the starting clue box?
Mr. Y. He makes the same sound that starts yawning.
Yes, that's right. Who's in the catching clue box?
Miss E. She makes the same sound that starts exercise.
Very good. Who's in the ending clue box?
Mr. S. He makes the same sound that starts super sucks. And he's holding a badge of cooperation, which means Ms. E will use her short sound. Look, there's a short sound sign over the catching clue box.
Very, very good. Now, put all the sounds together, and what have you got?
Oh, no, you don't. I'm too smart for that. I know what the word is, but the letter people don't.
Letter people, prove it. Make your sounds catch.
Yes.
I didn't hear you.
Yes.
By golly, they knew it after all. They knew that the word is yes. Oops! I said it.
Yes, you did. Now you have to sing for us tomorrow.
You win. I'll do it. No, on second thought, I won't.
You can't break a promise.
You, Linda, will do it.
What do you suppose she meant by that?
I think I know. Yolinda, open your mouth and yodel.
Huh?
Yodel, try it. See? Let's get back. Tomorrow's a big day.
On the way down, will you do me one favor, Mr. Y?
You bet, Mr. S. What?
Will you please keep that big mouth of yours closed?
Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.